You know, in the wild world of crypto, most projects try to play it safe, hedge their bets, but what if a project decided to do the exact opposite? What if they went all in on a single, brand new, totally unproven technology? Well, today we're talking about Pulse and their incredibly bold gamble on a new ecosystem called Midnight.
Okay, so let's just start right here, because this one sentence tells you everything you need to know. We're all in on Midnight. This isn't a side project for them. This isn't just one of many bets. This is their entire future. That's a level of conviction you almost never see. So what on earth is behind this massive all-or-nothing bet? Well, it all comes down to this really powerful strategic idea. They believe they've found an asymmetric opportunity. They're not just crossing their fingers and hoping for the best. They are playing a very specific, very high-stakes game. So what does that even mean? An asymmetric opportunity. Think of it like this. It's kind of like buying a lottery ticket, but a really, really smart one. For Pulse, the cost of that ticket is the time and money they're spending on development right now. But the jackpot? The potential win? It's becoming the dominant player in a brand new ecosystem that could be worth billions. They're risking a little for a shot at winning, well, a whole lot. And this quote just lays their thinking bare. They are completely clear-eyed about the risk. They're admitting right up front, hey, this whole Midnight thing might go nowhere. But, and this is the key, they're betting that if it takes off, all their early, focused work will put them in pole position. They're not just betting on the tech, they're betting on themselves.
But look, just being early isn't enough, right? In crypto, you need a killer app. You need a secret weapon. And for Pulse, that weapon is a really groundbreaking piece of tech they're building, something called a native cross-chain privacy swap.
Okay, now this looks complicated, but what they're describing here is basically a holy grail in crypto, so follow me on this. A user sends their actual Bitcoin, not some weird, wrapped, synthetic version, to a decentralized pool. Then, using some really cool crypto magic called a zero-knowledge proof, the Midnight network proves the Bitcoin is there without revealing any of the private details. A special circuit makes the swap happen, and boom, real ADA shows up in the user's wallet on the Cardano network. This is a huge deal. Swapping real assets between two totally different blockchains with privacy and with no big company in the middle, that could unlock an insane amount of value for the whole industry. But here's the thing. Innovating with brand new tech is never, ever a straight line. When you're a pioneer, the ground is constantly shifting underneath you. So let's get real about what Pulse's journey has actually looked like. So they started off with a bang, right? They got a public testnet launched, but then bam! They hit a wall, a major roadblock. The wallets, the basic tools they needed to interact with the network, just stopped working after an update. That meant all their work on their main app just stopped. But they didn't pack it in. They waited. The tools got updated, and they were able to get back on track and eventually release a demo of their exchange. This is the messy reality of building on the cutting edge.
And you can just feel the frustration in their own words here. Imagine building a revolutionary new car engine, but the company that makes all the tires suddenly changes the bolt pattern, leaving you completely stranded. That's the kind of risk you take when you're one of the first ones building in a new city.
But just as quickly, the roadblock was cleared. The ecosystem kept moving, and they were able to get back to building. This little story is the perfect snapshot of what it takes to survive out here. It's not just about having the best tech, it's about having the grit to push through the moments when everything grinds to a halt.
So, they've proven they can handle the early challenges. But what about the long game? What's Pulse's actual playbook for when Midnight's main net finally launches?
Their strategy is actually pretty simple, but it's incredibly effective. First, just build. Keep your heads down and work while everyone else is distracted. Second, be ready to go on day one. As soon as that mainnet is live, be there. Third, make friends. Forge those partnerships now so you have a network ready to support you. And last, become the go-to experts, the team that knows Midnight's tech better than anyone else.
And this really just brings it all back home to their main idea. It's all about being prepared for that one big moment. They're doing all the hard work now so that if, or when, Midnight really catches fire and captures the world's attention, they're not just another face in the crowd. They're the ones leading the charge.
So let's talk about that payoff. What is the end game here? What's the potential prize that makes all of this risk, all of this struggle totally worth it?
This is where the stakes get, well, astronomical. This isn't just about a cool niche product anymore. The team believes that big money, we're talking institutional investors, are starting to pay very close attention to this kind of privacy tech. If they're right, and Midnight's token, NITHE, really does catch fire, it could launch the entire project into the top 10 of all cryptocurrencies. We are talking about a massive, massive potential upside.
And so, that's where we're left. It all comes down to this one huge question. Pulse has placed its bet. They've gone all in. They're building the tech, developing the expertise, and getting ready for that moment of ignition. They believe the fire is coming. The only question left is, when it finally arrives, will they be the ones holding the torch?